So the Sabeéj Gia brand was officially started in the fall of 2004 and got to the public in 2005. So we have actually 20 years anniversary here in 2024. And all the products and the brand itself was started in Denmark. Based on real fishing, our main species was pike and the European perch and trout. And very early we wanted to make a big difference in the way we designed the lures. So we were very first with the 3D scanning technology and making the lures look like real fish. We work a lot with the action and the way that we rig the lures, because we don't only want them to look beautiful, we want them to swim beautiful and to catch fish. So during these many years of fishing, we found many different techniques and we helped push the lure fishing. For example, the big bait trend that you see right now, that everybody wants something big. We were very early with that, and today I think we still have some of the biggest swim baits. So 2007, 2008, 2009, we kept making bigger and bigger lures. We were very early in hunting for the big predator fish, pelagic. So on the very big lakes and the very big reservoirs, that's where the big bait theory came, that we wanted a big profile so we could get the big fish to eat. And our theory was at that time that if you don't have vertical structure like you have along the bank, we look for horizontal structure. And today that is a very known theory. Not only a theory, we know that the big fish, they sit right in the temperature cline, which forms the vertical structure. So all we want to do is catch the biggest one. We don't, some days you want to catch a lot of small fish, but if you really want to catch the big one, you need to be patient and maybe accept that you only get one bite in the day, but then it will be a big one. So in Sabeéj Gia, we've always worked with the 4 key elements to make the fish interested in your lure. And the first of one is the visual one, so that the lure looks really much like a prey fish. And then you have the action, the movement in the water, the way that it actually moves. And then you have the sound, which is also very important. Sometimes you want a silent bait, but other times you want a noisy bait. And then you talk about a vortex or the footprint in the water. What kind of signals does the lure send? So visual, the action, the way that it swims, the vortex or the vibration that the lure sends out, the sound is very important. So those 4 key elements is something that we work with a lot. We also work with scent. So we add scent to the PU coating of the lure so they smell in a different way. Kind of ways to present your lure. One is the feeding stimulants. So you imitate a real fish that's moving, not knowing any danger or anything. So make it as real and subtle as possible. When the big fish is feeding, he doesn't want a lot of action, he doesn't want a lot of noise. He is homing in on something that is very natural, very subtle. That's where we have a lot of baits that are very subtle and very realistic. Then there's the reaction bite, when the big fish are not in the mood to eat, but you need to provoke them to bite. And that's where the glide baits and the side shifting, the buzz baits, all the different kind of reaction strike baits is so much more effective than fishing a natural presentation. Another thing we love in Sabeéj Gia is topwater fishing. We love the visual attack, the visual strike, to see your lure come to you and see the big fish attack it. And also for the topwater lures, we like to make them look real. So that's why we have a real scan of a duck, a real scan of a rat, and a real scan of a snake. Another thing that we spend a lot of time on is the rigging, because with the very big baits, there's a big chance you lose the fish because of the weight of the lure. That's why we have the line-through system. Yeah, so that pretty much gives you an idea about the background of why our lures look the way that they do and how much time we spend to perfect them. You want to see how they swim?
サベージギアっていうのを簡単にご紹介すると、ここにいるデンマーク人のマッズさんが作ったブランドになります。でね、ここに分かりやすくあるようにネズミだったりとかアヒルだったりとか、そういうリアルなものを 3D プリンターでねデータ化して、それをルアーに落とし込んだ、そういうブランドがサベージギアになります。一方でね、こういうでかいスイムベイトとしても世界的に知られたブランドです。もともとはね、こちらにあるパイクのターゲットにしたルアーブランドなんですけれども、今やね世界中に周知されて、いろんな魚を狙うために使われています。で、今回2024年から 日本に、上陸するにあたって皆さんにねこういうことを使ってほしいというようなことを今からねお話ししたいなと思っています。
The most important thing is that bass and predator fish that jump a lot need to be away from the fish. So now he's jumping.
これがサベージギアを有名にしたシステムなんですけど、ラインスルーシステムっていうようにその通りねラインがスルーしてるんですよね。通ってる。これによって何が変わるかというと、食べた後魚は暴れるけどこいつが通るんでバレにくい、そしてルアーが壊れにくい、両方のメリットからとても有名で、このシステムによってサベージギアが世界的なブランドに成長したアイデアになります。でちょっとちなみに今その同じ構造を入れたパイクのルアーを実演したいと思います。これこの会場にある中で最も大きなルアーかなと思うんですけど、もちろんねこう引っ張ってリアルな動きをするのは皆さん想像つくと思うんですがね、これでかいので巻かなくても自分でね慣性の法則に従って惰性でね動いていくんですね。皆さんの方向に泳ぐ、これがね大型魚にスイッチを入れる動きになるんですね。今までね8の字メソッドというこう引っ張ったらそれについてくるこういうアクションはあったと思うんですけど、インフィニティメソッドと僕呼んでいる自分でね送り出していく、泳いでいく、私から逃げていく、ここからなので半径がとっても大きいんですね。でこれができると5メーターぐらいの大きさで8の字メソッドをすることができるようになります。自分で泳ぐ、これがこの大きなルアーで、それでね破綻しない、動きが破綻しないのがすごいところなんですね。
And then to take the Savage idea and make it
簡単に言うといろんなターゲットに使えると思う。でその上でやっぱりこのサベージギアのリアルさが日本のタグフィールドにもバッチリはまると思うので、皆さんの方で新しい可能性を開発してくれるととっても嬉しいというふうにまずは簡単に言うとね。
So we say thank you to the audience.
Thank you.
How do you say that in Japanese?
ありがとう。
ありがとう。
ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。